Okay, that's why I'm not getting. Okay, good morning, everybody. We're going to start in about 27 seconds. I would invite all the county folk in the room to come on up and sit here if they'd like. There's a lot of room. Good morning. The time is 10:38. My name is Michael Linder. I'm the co-chair of the Legislative Committee, and I'm calling the Legislative Committee for Wednesday, September 20th, 2023 to order. May we have a roll call, please?
Bates,
Bates here.
Doherty,
Already here.
Molina,
Molina present.
Silva, Strathman, Gums, Linder,
Linder here.
Tepe,
Here.
Kira. You have a quorum?
Good, we have a quorum. We have a remote attendance request from Mr. Doherty. Is there any objection? Seeing none, welcome, Mr. Doherty.
Thank you.
Like to ask for a motion and second for approving the minutes of both July 19th and September 8th.
Bates moves.
Base moves. Is there a second? Strathman seconds. Okay. Can we do that by voice vote?
Yes.
Yeah. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the minutes are approved. New business, legislative update. There's not, the legislature is not in session. So in terms of a legislative update, there's not a lot to update. We are very busy. I'm just looking at the message here. Okay, we're very busy putting together the things that we've gotten from the departments. And we've got some exciting things that's going on there. So I'll talk a little bit about that. Roger Feinstock approached us after the special meeting. We had a little conversation about how we're going to manage the data and information on what we get from the departments and feed to the lobbyists, including contact information for the departments, what the departments know about legislators they've talked to, all of that. And we ended up with Heidi, who's over there in the corner, who is graciously agreed, and with Roger's permission, to help us with that task. That was quite honestly my biggest worry here. It was how we would juggle that stuff. She's putting together a form that people can fill out, that can go to where it needs to go, stay someplace, give us, eventually we'll have some tracking on these things. So she showed me the rough edit of that for the first view of that form this morning. I think I have a couple little tweaks I'd like to give it, and maybe I'll then send it around to everybody at the table here if they have some things that they think ought to be added. And you know, the thing we want to make sure we emphasize all the time is, you know, I've talked to at least one elected, and I think at least one department that says, well, we're doing all this stuff ourselves. You know, the clerk, you know, says he does all his own. That's fine. But once our lobbyists get to be known as our lobbyists, and they are approached by legislators as, hey, this bill's coming up today. Where's your client on this one? Where's Kane County on this one? Our lobbyists need to know. Even if that elected official has said, let me handle it, let me do it on my own, it still would disserve that person to have the lobbyists say, it's not on our radar. You know, so we need to make sure that everything that's out there is on their radar. And we're not going to tell any elected or any that they can't be doing their own thing if they want to. But we do need to know about all of it. Now, all of that is my opinion. So so far as anything I've said, running afoul of anybody's thoughts? Okay, I just, for the record, I would like a motion to approve having Heidi join us as our kind of data specialist, clerical support.
You would just be asking for consensus because there's nothing on the agenda.
Yeah, there's nothing, just a consensus. I'm not, yeah, if there anybody has an issue with that, I don't know why you would, but okay. You're right, it's not on the agenda. Is there any old business at this point? One of the first things that I guess this is old business that we tuned the lobbyists into is the bill on the fiber optic cable, because board member Iqbal has contacted a couple of legislators, actually has bill numbers on this now. So we suggested that our lobbyists get to some of our Southern District representatives, some of our senators and reps who have been very helpful to us in the past, and make sure that they look it over and get on as a co-sponsor to those bills. It would have been nice to get some of those people who've done a lot for us to sponsor the bill. It didn't happen that way, but so we've asked them to get on that right away. And then we're compiling with the format that Heidi's put together. We're going to compile a first run of a legislative, I won't call it a platform because it's more of a list at this point. Until the full board has seen it, it's just a list. But we're going to get that list then to them well before the fall veto session starts, and to make sure that they're aware of it. The other thing they asked for, and I know some of you were at the meeting, some of you were not, it's going to be important on all of these things if the department head has requested something, that on the form that Heidi has and that will get to the lobbyists, they have contact information for that person, so that if they find out at 8 o'clock in the evening that a bill's going to be called in the morning, they can call somebody's cell phone and get to them and say, you know, what this is a sticking point. Where are you guys with this? So managing that information for the lobbyists is going to be every bit as important as just managing what are the issues in the bills. Making sure that once they have that, they have the ability to not have to call me and then I call somebody and somebody else calls. They have the ability to go to the contact person here who is immediately involved in that particular issue. Sometimes that will be one of our chairs or madam chair or some of those things, but very often it's going to be one of the electeds or one of the department heads or a designee in that department. And they need not to have to make 3 phone calls to get to that person who can tell them where we are. They need to have that contact for that person. So that's a big piece of it. That's really about all I have. It's a brief meeting here. Ms. Gums had a couple of other things that we hadn't really talked about. She had a personal emergency this morning, texted me just on my way. So there's a couple of things probably missing out of the co-chair comments, but we will catch you up on that. I had at some point a request for an executive session to go over executive session minutes, but I don't see anybody here from the state's attorney's office. And we're already, 45, 50 minutes into our time frame. So I think they're not coming. We'll make note of that and catch up on it. If that indeed is needed, we'll catch up on that next meeting. What do we have from, and we have no public comments here. There's nobody here. What do we have from you guys?
Okay.
Ms. Bates?
I I copied you and Ms. Gums on some email that I sent to Joe McCoy from ISACO, Illinois State Association of Counties, that I would like to create a Energy and Environmental Policy Committee as part of ISACO, because they've got other committees, and I thought, why not have that we should be able to have some kind of a consortium of people of the counties, maybe people like me. chairman,
Speak into your microphone.
People who are chairs of energy and environmental committees in other counties so that we can have a stronger voice. And he said he was going to bring that up at the next committee. And Madam Chair, you're on that board, so maybe you have more news about that. I don't know, not yet. So that's just what I'm up to.
That's sounds good to me. Anyone else here? Mr. Roth?
Hi, Roth here. Regarding what Heidi's working on, is it available to start looking at, or is it still work in progress?
Oh, at this point, the format is all we've worked on.
Okay.
And we'll edit that a little bit. We'll get that format out to the committee and to anybody else that's in the room today.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I'm just
for your
asking to be
comments, and
added.
then we'll start filling stuff
Okay.
in. But
Yeah,
at
I'm
this
just
point-
asking to get added to the
Yeah,
list.
it's for instance, she's got a phone number line and might need two phone number lines for an
Okay.
alternative phone, and those sorts of things.
That's all.
But it's about ready to go.
Okay, good enough. Thank you.
Welcome. Anyone else? Okay. There's no public comment because there's nobody here. There's no need for an executive session. I would, Ms. Bates.
Move to adjourn.
Ms. Bates moves to adjourn. Is there a second? Strathman seconds. All in favor, say aye.